everybody, this is Jim the Tabletop Engineer, and welcome to a new playthrough video. This is literally a new playthrough video. I've never played this game before, and you're going to get to watch. And this is Brian Colin. Brian, tell me, what are we playing today?
Thank you. Thanks for having me. And we are playing Sqwurmish, a rules-light, miniature-agnostic skirmish game set in the Vast Grimm Universe. It's bizarre, weird, over-the-top.
This is the Vast Grimm RPG. If you don't own this rulebook, you need to grab a copy. PDF, hardback, whatever, because it's an incredible book. And the color scheme and the layout and the setting and everything is just insanely entertaining. And so when you told me that you had a skirmish wargame, and keyword skirmish, because skirmish wargames, if you're not familiar with them, are small-scale wargames. You don't need 25, 50, 100 miniatures. How many do you need?
5 in your crew.
5 per player. 5 per player. And maybe some miniatures for extra monsters
Right.
and things like that.
But, you know, I've used little, like, glass beads to represent monsters. I've used rocks for my yard.
Yep.
You don't need a lot of money to play,
Yeah.
is the main thing. You can take whatever you've got and make it your own.
Now, one of the things you did tell me about this game, because when I saw you at a convention a few weeks back, you had it set up, and you're making custom miniatures for it.
Yes.
So you can go so far as to, if you love the setting and you like the game and the rules, there will be specific miniatures developed just for this game.
Yes, and they also cross over into the RPG as well. So if you like the RPG and aren't into skirmish games, you might want them for that. We've got Saul Blair of Malevolent Minis has sculpted them. They can be available as STL files, or you can buy them where he's going to actually print them out as well.
Okay, so you will be able to get STLs and put them into your resin printer or whatever,
Yep.
and make as many as you need.
Absolutely.
All right, that's pretty cool. You made this terrain, correct?
Yes.
Tell me about this terrain, because it's got a unique look to it. And I'm not going to say it's horrible. It's very, very cool, but it's nothing like I've ever made before.
Well, so like I started out with these kind of weird mountainous regions, and I had just watched Transformers 1.
Okay.
And when there's a part where like there's strange like jutting shapes on this planet that they're on the planet that they're on, and also my friend Alan Panicle's sci-fi art. Some of the shapes on some of the planets, they have these weird like jutting rocks and that's how I kind of started with making the shapes out of foam core, and then I just cut up strips of paper and dipped it in watered down Mod Podge and wrapped it around it and then quickly painted it. These are bits and pieces that I've found. Like the plastic on this, I have to do yard work every now and again, so the Weed Eater refill pack, these were
Okay.
Weed Eater spools. This was the plastic packaging.
Okay.
I just keep all that random stuff that has weird shapes that you never know
Yeah.
what you could use it for later. Zip ties, bits and pieces of sprues from Gundam models. I don't even know what that's from. Little piece of foam core in the bottom, an above ground pool filter,
Okay.
and bits and pieces, some random
tubing.
hoses. These are little cheap like gumball machine plastic pieces
yep,
that one of my
I
kids
recognize
had. Some little bits of rock things that I've sprinkled on with glue. I think this might have been like a strange donut packaging or something.
Yeah,
it was a weird
It looks like
plastic.
there were 6
Yeah,
of something
yeah.
in it. So my point with asking him this is, obviously this is low budget,
Yep.
so you could make your own terrain for this game very cheaply.
Absolutely. Or you could just like put a soda can here and
Correct.
you'd be fine.
Correct. And that's how I started playing war games. Was we used books, stacks of books as buildings. It was when I think back to those days, it's hilarious. I would use like tape dispensers and stuff, and now I have all this terrain that I've made. But there's sometimes I want to go back to the basics. And
Yeah.
boy, this is cool.
Thank you.
All right, so before we get started, can you tell them? It's called Sqwurmish, but can you give me a real quick overview? I know it's 5 versus 5, but what else is going on?
Well, it's not just 5 versus 5. It can be solo, so you can play yourself with just your own five party crew. You can play co-op if you want to, where you're trying to face the same objective. In the book, there's 13 different scenarios.
Okay.
They're in 3-issue arcs, so some of them you can go back to your hideout in between, but the story continues for those 3 episodes.
Okay.
Sometimes you're like going into a location, so you can't go back to your hideout and actually level up your hideout and things like that until afterwards. But
Okay.
each scenario, you get XP, you earn credits if you succeed with the mission, so that you can upgrade your crew and your hideout so you can get better as you go. And all of the stories continue to the 4-part finale in the book.
Okay. I know, but for the audience here, what are the bad guys? Who are the bad guys?
The bad guys, for the most part, are the Grimm, an alien hive mind zombie-like species that are infected with all of these different worms. there's 6 strains of parasitic worms that they can be infected by, and all of your crew can easily get infected as well.
So when one of my crew gets infected, is that game over for that?
No, you can live with these worms for a while.
Okay.
So if you get infected, you'd roll to see which worm you get infected by.
Okay.
There's 6 different ones. Once you find out, so say you got infected with the Nurok, the brain worm. Before each scenario, you'd make a toughness test. You'd look at your toughness stat, anywhere from -3 to +3. You'd roll a d20, add your modifier. If you get a 12 or higher, you've succeeded, and the worm is working with you. That's called a parasitic pleasure. So then you roll on the table for that worm.
So you get a bonus of
Right.
some sort. Is it a power or ability or something?
Some of it's like, in one of them, it's like the worm's coiled around your body, giving you like an extra armor, a level of armor, because it's really strengthened you. But then if you fail, you have a parasitic pain. And so like some of them, it might be like your strength is reduced by 3 for this scenario. Like depending on what it is. It's very bizarre and goofy and kind of narrative focused, but it does have mechanical effects because of it. But you can also buy worm extraction tools. So you can try and extract the worms in between scenarios, or even on the field.
All right.
You can pay other people in between scenarios to remove them from you if you want to spend credits on it. There's even a faction where that's what they do. They're harvesters, and they specialize in collecting these worms.
So if I get attached to one of my characters, I don't necessarily have to worry about if they get infected. There's things in the story that I can keep them alive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. All right. Well, viewers, what I'm going to do real quick is I'm gonna talk to Brian. We're going to get our miniatures set up, get the game set up, and then I'm going to let Brian take control here. He'll tell us about the scenario. He'll give us the setup rules, and maybe I assume there's an objective.
There is. Okay. And we'll also actually go through crew creation, because it's not a long process too.
All right. Well, let's do it. I'll be right back. All right, we are at the table, and Brian, what are we going to do first? Character creation.
Yes, we need to build our crew.
Okay.
So we're going to go through this quickly, but it's going to be fun. It'll give you an idea of the flavor of the game as we do this, and I think that's the most important part to get people excited about it. So
got a character sheet here. All right, 5.
You have 5. So the first thing you're going to need to do is grab a d6, and you're going to roll d66. So the first 6, then the second 6, and this is going to determine your background. And we're going to go through new backgrounds on all
2, 3.
So 2, 3, you were a treasure hunter. You have 1 random cosmic treasure. And we will grab that cosmic treasure in just a minute.
Sure.
Let's go through all these. I got 45 for my first one, which is I was a gun for hire, so I've got a pulse rifle. So I'm going to add that to my weapons. And you want to do the next one?
This is another D66?
Yeah, so we'll do that for all 5 of the characters.
Okay, 3, 1.
31 is Barback on Marauder's Cryosphere. You have 1 Salsarite Swill as in part of your equipment. That's a liquor that'll I'll go into what that does when we go to our equipment section.
Okay.
I got Card Shark for my next one, and so that gives me an extra 50 credits.
I rolled a 6-2.
62 is they're a petty thief. They start with 1 keycard discrambler. I got 14, which means I'm a network doom scroller. So I get +1 to my tech stat.
Okay. 4, 1.
You are a serial salvager. You have 1 random piece of gear. This one's easy because the gear's up front right here. You want to go ahead and roll a d20 and we'll tell you what that gear is.
15.
You have a nanite healing kit. It heals D8 hit points. That's pretty great because you may need that.
Okay.
I got a 55, which makes them exterior window washer. They have a vac suit with an Avia 2.
Okay. 3, 6.
36, we got you were an emo bot repair line operator. You can heal bots for D4 hit points on a test.
Okay.
And then I think my last and final one, I got a 61. They were an asteroid mining demolition crew, and they have a mini boom box. The boom is blow up.
Ah, got it. Okay.
Okay, so we have all of their backgrounds.
Okay.
Let's see. You do have that cosmic treasure which I don't know if I put that into the playtest rules. So we'll come back to that in a second. I will look that up on my phone.
All right.
Because that can be some really fantastic piece of gear that
like
you
a
may
relic
want.
of some
Yeah,
sort? Okay.
yeah, exactly. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pick a specialist.
Okay.
So we start with 200 credits to start out with.
All right.
I start with 250 because one of my characters is a card shark.
Yep.
If you want to have a specialist, you spend 10 credits. You can only have one specialist in your crew, and they basically they're based off of the classes in the RPG, so they have a little bit of an advantage. You can either pick one of the 12, or you can randomly roll.
Let's random.
Roll a d12, and then knock 10 credits off your character.
This is the most D12s I've rolled in a long time. I rolled one earlier in our Plunderlust game, or twice actually. I rolled a 3.
So you're a found technomaniac. You begin with one random encrypted tribute and one random hacked tribute. Tributes in this game are they're like the magical scrolls. They're little chips or devices that allow you to do special things. So roll a d10 for the this is going to be your hacked tribute.
8.
You have booster pack. So one electronic weapon gets plus d4 damage for d2 rounds. So
2 rounds. Okay.
You'll roll a presence test. If you succeed, you cast this magic, and then you choose the weapon that you want to have extra damage.
So 2 rounds.
Yep.
All right.
For the encrypted tribute, roll a d10 as well.
That's 10.
You have beamed up. D2 threats, dematerialize, and teleport to another location.
Okay.
In the campaign mode, like if we were going to play the next scenario, they would be in the next scenario. So they would show up in the next scenario. Right. So like if we're playing this and all of a sudden you're surrounded by warhounds and you want to, you roll the presence test to see if you make it happen, boom, you roll D2 and they're gone.
Beamed up.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. So then I'm going to roll for my specialist. And I got a 12. They are hardcore. They're so tough that they keep fighting even when they're running on empty. When they would normally be downed, like their hit points are down to 0, they get a bonus action before they get knocked down.
Okay.
And so you pick which one of those characters you want that to be.
Sure.
And I'm definitely not going to give it to the one that has the tech stat, because I want this one to be a real bruiser. So I'll give it to this one. Hardcore.
I'm going to give it to the treasure hunter just in case they get something really cool.
Nice. Okay. So now we're going to align with a faction, and then after that, what we're going to do is go in and put our array of stats.
Okay.
So factions. There's 4 different factions. Legionnaires, which is kind of like a crew in Vast Grimm, where you're a motley crew of various types of characters. The benefit to playing them is they get an additional 5 credits earned per survivor of your crew.
Okay.
After a scenario. They also get 1 additional piece of random gear per character.
Okay.
The devout are the people, they want the universe to come to an end. They want the worms to succeed. They want the zombies to win.
Sure.
So if they don't fear the Grimm, so if any number of the crew can begin with a worm lover specialist if they want for 5 credits, and at the end of the scenario, if there's at least 1 Grimm that has been unharmed, they get an extra 5 credits per Grimm that didn't get harmed.
Okay.
Then we have harvesters. They're the ones that want to extract the worms out of people and sell them on the black market. Each one of them starts with a random worm extraction tool.
Okay.
There's D4 of that. And then they also get 10 extra credits for each of the worms that they sell in between scenarios. Then we have raiders. Raiders are like the space pirates. They each start with a Raider Rebreather helmet, which that it has a level 1 rebreather, but it also has spikes on it to do a little damage. And they can re-roll once when looting, but they have to take the second roll.
Okay. So let me go with the harvesters.
Excellent.
I'll try to pull some guys out there. So that's my faction.
Yes. And so we'll go ahead and have you pick out your tools for your harvesting tools for that real quick.
Okay. By the way, viewers, this video will go long. I'm not going to break this up into multiple parts spread out over a period of time. I'm going to we'll film this, and however long it takes, I'll just stack the videos. So keep watching. I know that this part some of you want to get to the action, but we will get there.
Excellent. Roll a d4 for each of your characters because they each start with worm extraction tools.
1.
Okay. If you want to just write down the number somewhere in the gear tributes, once you roll all of them,
Yeah.
I'll go through and say if it's a 1, it's this. If it's a 2.
I've rolled a lot of 1s. They're all 1s and 1 6.
Okay. And 1 4?
1 6 1 1 1.
It was on a d4.
Oh, was it?
That's the d.
Oh, then it was a 4. Sorry.
Okay, cool. Yep. So all the ones with 1 have a basic extraction toolkit.
Okay.
It's like forceps, scalpel, cryo bag. So basically, when you want to extract a worm, that one uses agility to do that.
Oh, okay.
Number 4, you have Vain. It's VAIN. It's a vacuum activates infected nullifier. It's +3 on tests for doing this, and it uses a battery of 4. So basically, it's a big machine. It's a machine that'll like suck the worm out of you.
4 uses the battery, I say.
So all batteries in this have 24, and batteries are universal. They have 24 slots.
Okay.
So if you have a pulse rifle, it may say battery 8 or battery 8. Every time you use it, you take 8 out of the 24 until the battery's gone.
Okay.
Just the easiest way to try and keep everything working together.
Okay.
I'm going to go with the Raider group since you went with the Harvesters. So each of mine are going to have standard a rebreather built in.
Okay.
So now that we've got that, let's do our ability array. There's 2 different arrays. There's 3, 1, 0, 0, -3.
I'll write this down. 3, 1, 0, 0, -3.
Or 2, 2, 0, -1, -2.
And what do these numbers have to be applied to?
They have to be applied to agility, presence, strength, tech, and toughness.
Okay.
So agility is going to affect your movement. So you start with 5, plus whatever your agility is.
Got it.
Presence is going to be like aimed shots, like distance attacks.
Okay.
Strength is going to be used for like certain
melee.
Yep. And each weapon has their own stat, or like it says it may use agility, it may use presence, it may.
Got it.
Tech is going to be things like I had mentioned that in this we may try to enable this shield to prevent outside influences. That's going to be a tech test.
Okay.
And then toughness is avoiding getting infection by worms, things like that.
Okay. Got it. All right. And so I can do either the 3, 1, 0, 0, -3 or the 2, 2, 0 or any mixture.
You can put them however those are the 2 arrays. You pick one array and put them however you want.
The one array you pick is among your all 5.
Oh no,
you can pick between arrays.
Absolutely.
Okay,
and these aren't going to be your final numbers because we're going to roll flaws and feats.
Okay.
And that could affect it. Like you could get a flaw that could drop you down by 2.
Given that this is my first time playing it, I'm just going to sort of if it's cool, I think I'm just going to stay with one ray and just make it the same.
Yeah.
I think that'll be easier to remember.
Yeah.
All right. So, and the numbers can be mixed
wherever you want. Yep.
All right. All right, I'm putting 3 in agility for all my guys, 3 in presence. I want them fast, and I want them able to aim.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And they're going to, and unfortunately, their strength and their tech are going to be 0s, and the toughness is going to be 1.
So you're doing them all
the same.
Oh, wow.
I think it for me learning the game, I think it just makes sense. Then I'll sort of understand how next time I play, maybe I want to mix it up a little bit.
Okay.
But that's just how I learn a game. I try to go with the simplest. There's no way now having played this game that I'll understand all the nuances. So
yeah, that's fair. I get that. Okay, I'll try and speed it up a little bit.
Fine. So it looks like they can also have armor of some type.
Yes.
Max HP now, and a move value.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to have flaws and feats, and then they'll have weapons.
Yep.
All right. And crew XP, I assume that means that between games you could spend XP to do things to make your crew better, powerful, better, and stuff like that.
And you have a hideout based on the faction you chose.
Okay.
So the hideout, there's different things that you can spend XP on. Like maybe you now have a healing kit a thing that creates healing kits at your factory,
Okay.
or at your hideout. So now every scenario you start with a healing kit.
Got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
things like that. Okay, so now that we've got that done, we're going to move on to, let's go ahead and do flaws for each of our characters. We're going to roll a d20 for each one.
Each one. I'll roll my 5 numbers and tell you what they are. We're doing flaws.
Yep.
This is very similar to what I do with. Do you do the same for feats?
Yep.
20.
You want to go ahead and
Let's go ahead and do that.
Yep.
This is very, this is not taking any more time than, say, creating a character, a warband for Frostgrave.
Oh, awesome.
Or any games really. I rolled natural 20s for my last guy for the flaw and the feat.
Oh. There is no bonus on this. This is just random lists. Okay, hit me with your first flaw number.
First flaw is 9.
Okay, so you've got arthritic rusted hip. Your movement is reduced by 1.
Move -1. 13.
Bugging out. You have to make a morale test when encountering any bug threat type.
Morale versus bug type. Okay. 18.
Your gravity challenged, they're -1 on their strength.
Okay. So I'm already at -1 now. Excuse me.
Sure.
3.
The horrors scene, you have -3 on all tests when fighting the Grimm.
All tests versus Grimm.
That's very problematic. Yes.
He'll be a bait. 20.
20. You have sloshy brain. You're -1 on tech.
Okay. Go ahead and do your flaws.
Okay, I've got an 18. I got gravity challenge, which makes my strength -1. So that puts me at 1. Then I've got a 15, which is bounty hunted. If I'm in the line of sight, raiders will attack the model first. Then I've got 5, which is I was born on the planet where the worms were first released on K2116B. All of my abilities are reduced by 1, but I'm immune to toxic atmosphere, poison, and disease.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and...
It's a good thing I'm using pencil, because it looks like we're going to be modifying things.
My presence just dropped to a -4.
And my strength on this guy is -1. Oh, everything -3 on all tests versus Grimm. Woo.
Yeah, that's a rough one. The next one I got was sweaty mess. I smell worse than the bogs on the barges of Kalar. All models that are within 3 inches suffer -2 on presence.
Yes, nice.
So
makes us gag.
Thinking -2, 3 inches. And then my last one is 11, which is energy drain. They can't use any gear that requires a battery.
Okay.
So moving on to feats.
I've got a 13.
You've got street cred. If you're alive and not downed at the end of a scenario, you get an extra 50 credits.
Plus 50 credit to survive.
Yep.
All right, I got a 5.
Feral friend, you have a cyber kitty that follows you wherever you go.
Cyber kitty?
Yep. And then so you can use them as though they're another character to attack and do things.
Okay. A 9.
Pack rat, you can carry up to D4 additional items.
Additional items, okay. And I rolled 9 for 2 of them, so same thing. Yep. And then a 20.
Inevitable escape. When fleeing a scenario, they get to move +3 each round.
Got it.
I got a number 6, which low expectations. Their first attack is always a +2. Then I got a 9, which is pack rat, so +B for carry. Then I got, let's see, 20, which is the inevitable escape, +3 move escape. Then I got a 14, which is backed up. If this model dies, there's an exact replica at the hideout.
Nice. Clone. Nice.
And then number 18, they're an experienced extractor. They get +2 when extracting worms.
Okay.
Okay, so now we're almost there. We can calculate our hit points. Our max hit points is toughness +8.
Toughness +8. Okay. Easy enough. All my guys have 9 health.
Nice.
Actually, hold on. Toughness. Yeah, toughness.
You can calculate your move, which is agility +5.
This is why I picked all my same stats. Very easy for me to do.
Okay. And then now we're going to get into buying equipment and gear. I will let you have this. So this is the credits.
Yep.
This is the ability that they use. These are weapons first. Then there's armor, there's rebreathers, and then there's other gear here, but I'll let you go through that first.
All right.
Now we're going to be playing this scenario.
Okay.
There is a way to play the first scenario on easy mode where we don't include any external conditions.
Okay.
So like, because this is outside, we could roll on the table that says for external conditions. Could be total darkness, could be things like that.
Got it.
Do you want to play on easy mode since this is the first time?
Yeah, let's do easy.
Because then you don't have to worry about buying like lanterns and flashlights and things like that.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm going to look up your cosmic treasure while I'm while you're looking at that.
And you said we started with 200, but we had to pay 10 if we wanted the specialist. So we got 190.
Yep.
All right. So 190. And that's not a lot.
It's not.
I guess it is when you look at most weapons are like 30 credits, 10 credits.
And they start with a battery, but like I've played now the very first scenario where I've been fighting so much that because the pulse rifle uses so much battery, by the time I'm out of battery and I have nothing left nothing left except for my fists or a wrench or something like that to fight with.
All right.
But that's why you play additional scenarios so you can keep getting more cool stuff.
Yeah, let's do a couple of pulses. Let's do 3 pulses. That's 60, so I'm down to 130 cred. Let's do. Can you buy extra batteries?
Yes, you can. They are batteries are 5. Yep.
Yeah. So let's buy. Now it says that the pulse rifle comes battery 6.
So
it comes initially with 6.
No. So it has it takes 6 charges every time you use it. Yeah, so you mark off 6 off the 24 when you use it.
All right, so it starts with 24.
Yep.
And where does it say that it starts with 24? Is it just assumed their weapon starts with 24?
So batteries are all 24 charges.
Got it.
It's universal to make it super easy.
So 24 minus 6, you get 4 shots with it.
Right, yeah.
Woo. All right. So nice. All right, so let's buy some extra. Let's buy 3 extra batteries. That would be 15. So I'm down to 15. 3 extra batteries. And then I'm going to give everybody else a semi-auto pistol. 30 times 2 is 60, so down to 55. So I've got 2x semi pistols. And let's go ahead and give them something else. Do they only use one weapon at a time?
Yes.
You have to pick which weapon you're going to use.
And once you're in close combat, you can't use ranged weapons.
Got it. That's what I was going to ask next. Okay, so I'll get them all something for close combat. Now, if it doesn't say ranged, then it's an automatic close, because I noticed some things say ranged.
Yes.
So that means if it doesn't say ranged, you can use it close combat. All right.
So unless I type something wrong, since this one hasn't been edited yet.
I think I've got this. Electric axes. 20 times 6 is 100. I can't buy that many. Never mind. How many can I buy? 55 minus 20. I could buy 2 of them.
And then don't forget, you may want to buy a rebreather. You may not. You may want to buy armor.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. Well, let's scrap the. They can always punch with this, right?
They can. They do D2 damage, and most of the things in here have at least a 1 armor rating. So
okay. So with so 60, 130, 3 of those, down to 15. Keep this 55. So armor is 10. No, armor was 15. So I can get 4 or 3 of those. 3 armor. I'll distribute them to my favorites. And that leaves me with 5 creds. So this one's 15 maybe. So 45 leaves me with 10 creds. 10, I can get a rebreather. 1x rebreather. I've spent it all.
Awesome. Let me take a look at that then, and I will bring through it.
So just assign the weapons where I think they'll do the best.
Yep.
So just 3 of those. I'll give a pulse. I don't want to give it to the one that has the -3 versus all grim.
Right.
So he won't get that. Pulse. When I took two semis, semi-pistol. And 3 armor, so I'll give them armor. Chip on my foot. 3 armor. And then 1 rebreather. I'll give the rebreather to this poor guy. And then, all right. And then for the name, what I'm going to do is just describe the mini.
Sure.
So who's who. So purple mohawk. And gold helmet. And green cloak. I'm not going to get too attached to these guys. I'm going to call this guy Han because he looks like Han Solo.
Nice.
And this guy will be. Oh, he's got the rebreather, so that makes sense. He's got the red paint on him. He's loose. All right.
Okay. Almost there.
That's fine. All right, I'm going to pause this video real quick, viewers, and let Brian finish up, and we will get to playing the game in just a moment. Hang tight. Okay, viewers, we are going to play. So, Brian, we've got our war bands with their crew, their weapons, their armor, and stuff like that. What game are we playing?
So we are playing the playtest scenario. Open the gates of hell. H period E period L period L period. That'll be explained in like a continuing scenario of what hell actually is, but leaking across the network. This is like the web in this universe. The information travels across this. There's a scrambled footage of a research facility experimenting with interdimensional travel.
Okay.
And so previously undetected, the Moon CAV-34R is now a hot ticket item, with credits being offered up by Kid Arachnid for the procurement of a key card that unlocks the entry to the tower. It's been reported that the facility workers on the Moon will have said key card.
Okay, so there's a key card we got to get.
Yes. So the goal is to find the key card by looting the bodies of facility workers who exit this entry tower. The reward, Kid Arachnid will pay 500 credits for the retrieval of the key card.
In game terms, that's a lot because we just got 200 to spend for our entry.
Right.
Okay, so
500 will go a long way.
Okay, all right.
So in the center of the board, we put this. This represent, you put any piece of terrain, but it represents the entry pylon.
Okay.
Okay. Then we would put beside the entry pylon, there are 2 pieces of terrain that represent auxiliary pumps.
Okay.
Okay. Here, there's also loot at each one of these pumps.
Okay.
So if somebody comes here you get to do 2 actions per character. You get to move and do an action.
Doing that. Okay, got it.
You have to move first. If you do an action, you can't move afterwards.
It's typical in a lot of games. Yep, that's fine.
Looting is one of the actions, so you would roll on the random loot table.
Okay.
In opposite corners, we put C, which are the mountainous moon rocks.
Yep.
The highest platform shouldn't be more than 5 inches.
Okay.
And then we're going to place, since you're on that side of the table and I'm on this side of the table, we're going to take turns putting our crew 3 inches from the back side.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
And we're going to determine who goes first by rolling a d20 and seeing what the initiative is.
Okay.
For this particular thing. Initiative will continue to change as we play. I got a natural 20 and you got a 7. For this, it doesn't matter so much. So I'm just going to bring all these guys over here.
Okay.
I'm going to bring, and yeah, this should be slid just a little bit, just so you can get around both sides.
Okay.
I'm going to put this guy 3 inches here.
So you're starting on this edge.
I'm starting over here.
Okay.
And you're starting over there. Or yeah, let's do it that way.
Okay. So they got to be on the border.
Somewhere within 3 inches of that side. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I see. 3 inches.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Okay. And Purple Mohawk is my sort of head honcho, so I'm gonna try to keep her alive.
You know what? This is not fair for that. Sorry, I realized you were right. We usually do start on the other side. Can we rotate this just a little bit, like 90 degrees that way?
Sure can.
Oh, there went one of my buttons.
I hope it didn't. Hope it survived.
That's all right. They will get re-glued. I'll pick somebody else.
I got some glue if you need it. All right, so that goes here.
Yeah.
That goes there.
Because otherwise, I was too close to that. And
So I'm starting over here now.
yeah, the one that's closest to you.
Got it.
Sorry about that.
No, it's fine.
Then this should be at least so you can move around both sides.
Maybe him. Now, Brian asked me for like some zombies and some wolves, so I know that we're not the only ones on this map.
Yes, definitely not.
I'm guessing that we're going to be fighting not just each other, but the wolves. Now, you say we could play this cooperatively or against each other, right?
Correct. Yes.
Well, let's play it versus.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay. I'm good with that. Let me just write these down real quick. I'm going to do. I forgot to write these down.
that's fine.
Harvest.
So these two being key items, they should be sort of an equidistance between.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it. That's fair. That makes sense.
Yeah. When I realized how close I was, I thought that's not cool.
Well, I thought that came down to whoever rolls higher initiative, you're just lucky.
Yeah. I mean, you could definitely do it that way, but okay. So now that we've done that, in the initial deployment, we also place 2 Grimm within 1 inch of this entry pylon per player. So
the Grimm will be the zombies.
Yep.
So 2 inches within
this general area.
And you place 1 and I place 1?
We each place 2.
Oh, okay. Perfect. So obviously I want to place them near you.
And I want to place them, yeah.
So I'll do that. I'll put 1 here and 1 of this.
Yeah.
This thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. They're coming out of this.
Yeah.
Thing. Okay.
And so these, just so you know, they have a ranged attack. And how because they have a blaster, because they're zombies, they have a hive mind.
So they're not dumb.
Right.
Okay.
And so the way threats work in this game is if they can take a ranged attack, they're going to do that first.
Okay.
If they can't, they're going to move and then take a ranged attack, or move and then get hidden behind something, so there's something obscuring them.
So if they know they can't get within range to shoot, they'll try to look for cover.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So they're not dumb zombies.
Right, yeah.
All right.
So now that we've done that, we're skipping conditions, and we are going to go ahead and roll initiative to see who goes first, and we'll take turns playing individual characters.
11.
16.
Nice.
Oh, these dice are rolling better than me today.
You're getting lucky.
Okay, so for me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the. Where's my tech guy? The harvester. They only have a movement of 4, and they're gonna shoot. Okay. They are going to go 1, 2, 3. That's about 4 inches.
Yeah.
Okay. So they did not.
This map is gridded, by the way. You may not be able to see it, but we'll use the grid to sort of help us estimate.
And then they're going to spend their second thing doing another move.
So you can do a double move, or your first action must be a move if you're going to do a non-move action.
The other things are you can attack, you can use gear, use a feat, use a tribute, drop or pick up an item, drag the downed model 1 space, or do the second move like I just did.
All right. And does it alternate, or do you move all yours?
No, we alternate.
Okay, so I get to move.
Yep.
So I guess maybe this is fortunate, maybe it's not, but all my moves are 8. So I can get in the fight,
good,
right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and send Han right here.
Yep.
He can see that Grimm, and he'd like to take a shot.
Yep, absolutely. So you're go ahead.
I was going to say Han is my one that he has -3 on all tests versus Grimm. So I want to see how this goes before I send in my good shoot.
Oh, totally, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So he has an agility of 3. But again, -3 on all tests versus Grimm.
But most likely, if he's using a pulse rifle,
a semi-pistol.
Was that agility in the thing?
Didn't.
Okay, I think that's probably going to be. I think it's going to be presence, because almost all ranged things are presence.
Okay.
So
and my presence is 3 across the board.
Oh, okay.
So it'd still be 0.
Yeah. So it would balance out. Okay.
So just for my benefit and for the viewers, the weapons have 3 columns: a stat, a D, which is damage, I assume, and a bat/ammo. For the pulse, I know the bat was 6.
Yep.
And the ammo was what?
What did you say the name of? Semi-automatic
pulse rifle.
Oh, pulse rifle. So it's just It's either battery or ammo.
Ammo.
So like if it's a
so the semi-pistol has ammo.
yes, it does.
And what does it have?
It's a reload on 4.
Reload on 4. And what is its damage?
It does D6.
Okay, and its stat?
It is
It's agility or
it is it's presence.
okay, so you're right. And,
But it does have, so because it's a semi-automatic, it has AF, which is automatic fire.
okay,
So you're gonna roll twice.
and take the better.
Yeah, that you're gonna roll just double checking. This you roll multiple dice to hit. Based on whatever it is, this is an AF2, so then you roll 2 and take the higher.
Okay, so if I want to shoot, his normal presence is 3, but he's -3 against versus Grimm,
So there's
so 0.
Yep.
So what does that mean?
that the standard difficulty for everything is a 12.
12, just
So-
like in your Plunderless game.
And just like the RPG.
And
So it
our-
all kind of crosses over.
So I need to roll a 12.
Uh-huh.
If that had been a -3, I need to roll a 15.
Right. Yep.
I got it. So I need to roll a 12. I rolled a 15.
Fantastic.
So I hit it.
Yep. So now you roll the damage.
And the damage on it was a D6.
Nice. Oh, and you could have rolled twice because of the automatic fire. You want to do that because if you get a 20, it's a crit, and then you can do double damage.
I did not get a crit. And the damage will be 6.
Awesome. So we're gonna let's see.
You know what? I have red dice for their
That would be
contract their
that would be
damage.
awesome. Yeah.
You got it. Go ahead and
Make my next move.
make your next move. Yep.
Okay. Mansion. I'm going to move them 7. So
So I'll teach you a little trick that I use when I
1, 2, 3, 4.
when I use dice.
Uh-huh.
Depending on their health, if they have more than 6 health,
Uh-huh.
I use a red to indicate how much damage has been done,
Okay.
and a green to indicate how much damage is left.
Oh,
Does
nice.
that make sense? So it's just so how much health does he have?
they all have 8.
8.
Oh, but
But he has armor.
he has armor, so he
So he
took
minus
5.
1. So I rolled a 6, so he took 5 damage. So he has 3 health left.
Yep.
So we'll use a green
Excellent.
and we'll put 3 to indicate he has 3.
Okay.
There we go. All right.
Fantastic. So I moved my Manchine in line of sight with that Grimm. So I'm going to roll to hit with the presence. I have 0 in presence. I'm going to go ahead to kind of help speed things up a little bit with combat. I'm going to roll my damage when I roll.
Sure.
And then worst case, I got an 18. I did 7 damage. So I did 6 to this one. So they have 2 left.
All right.
And I'm going to, in my battery ammo.
Yep.
I'm going to mark off that I now have 3 shots left. Or
Okay.
2.
You could use the die if you want.
Oh, awesome.
I've got plenty of dice. So where was
Fantastic.
it?
That's great. Yep. I did
Now, how much? What's the movement of the Grimm?
they roll. You roll a d6 the first time,
Yep.
and then a d6 the second time. So they can move up to 2d6.
So they're going to move at least 2 up to 12.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Woo. All right.
Yeah. But if they're in range and they see you, they won't move. They will do a
ranged
first.
attack.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah.
And they go after all the crew members of
Yeah, so we'll go back and forth,
So
and then the threats will go,
Okay.
and then we'll resolve anything that happens between rounds.
All right. So my turn.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So my leader, Mohawk, will move up. She has a pulse rifle. Her presence is 3, and it has her move is -1. So her move should have been 7, but I only moved her like 5. So let me change that. Now she has no modifier, so the pulse rifle is just a 2 hit, right? But I get to add my modifier, so in this case it's +3
Because of your presence.
Yeah, my presence is 3. There's no modifier against, so I need to roll a 9 or higher.
Yep.
And her damage on a pulse rifle is
It's a D8.
D8. All right, I'll roll that with it, and we'll see. So I hit, and I do that's 10. That's 8.
Yep. So they are down to this
7.
one. You shot that one, right?
Same one.
They're done.
Okay, so they're
out.
toast.
So yes. So you lay them down,
Lay them down,
face up, so
I can extract if I want to go.
You
I'm
can
a harvester, right?
that,
So-
and you also want to loot them to see if they have the key
the card.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, these are the guys that have the cards.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So
there's a
they
chance-
worked inside here, and now they're infected,
Right.
and they're okay.
And more will come out next round.
How many?
It'll be 1 per player.
Okay. I was like, oh my gosh, sorry.
And it'll only get up to the max that come out are 2 plus the number of players.
2 plus the number.
So
of
like
okay.
over 6. So like the 6, if I was playing solo, the max would be 8. With us, the max will be 10. If we were playing 4 players, et cetera.
Excellent.
So so now that that's happened, how far can this guy go? He's only got a 3 movement. I was going to go and try and extract that, or like
Before I could get
that
to
one,
it, yeah.
but definitely not. Okay, so they're going to shoot this one with a blaster, and then also make sure to mark your track your batteries.
Yes.
So that
So I'm down to 24 minus 6. I'm down to 18. I'm just going to do number of shots.
yeah, that's what I just did with that.
I have 4 now. I have 3 shots left.
I missed because I rolled a 6, so that did not work. But I still used some of my blaster.
I did buy 3 batteries, so all my pulse guys will have a battery. So that's cool. Is it an action to recharge with a battery? Or
No.
Okay.
No. Just swap it out.
Just swap it out. All right.
So it's your go.
All right. Well, I'm going to try to come around this way. So I can move 8 inches. All my guys can move 8, except for my leader who moves 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Would that is diagonal allowed?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
I mean, because normally we'd be using a ruler. But yeah,
so I would say that he could see him.
Oh yeah, totally.
But he could also see one of your guys.
Yep. Whichever you want.
So, I mean, do I want to possibly take
Possibly.
him?
I mean, sure.
I mean, this is a green cloak, which has a pulse rifle. Let's do it.
Yeah, and
Let's do it.
You know, you're within 12 inches, so totally.
All right, so I will shoot at him. I'm going to roll my D8 and my D20, and there's no modifier, so my presence is 3.
So
I got to roll a 9 or higher.
Yep.
I rolled an 11, and I rolled 1 damage.
And they are wearing armor, so it's okay.
All right, and I got to lower this. I got 3 shots left, and now he moved and he shot, so he's done. All right.
So I'm going to go ahead and move this guy. He only has a 4 movement, so he's going to be just. I'm going to do a. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's beyond 12 inches, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. Yep. So he's going to. 1, 2, 3. That's about 4 inches there.
Yeah, that'll probably be within your range.
So your turn.
All right. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm going to double move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is there any cover rules in this?
Yes. So like if you're under partial cover, it's negative it's three stats or 3 numbers harder to hit.
Okay. Right.
So
I'm going to put him behind cover. You're open, so I'll take a shot maybe next turn.
Okay.
That's it. That's all I can do.
Then my last character is my Devout. They have a movement of 6, and then let's see, can I get? They can't really. Let's see. You can move over anything less than an inch at normal.
Makes sense.
So 1, 2, 3, 4. I said 6, right? 5. So they're going to get in front of this one just so that they can try and shoot that.
Okay.
So they are going to use their pulse rifle. Oops. And the presence is a 3. So I needed a 9. I hit.
Nope.
I did 3 damage. Minus their armor 2, so they are down.
They're down. Okay.
And so that I'm going to take this to track my pulse rifle shots. There. Okay. You have one more person?
One guy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to put them right there. And I'm done. That's it.
So now it's time for the threats.
Okay.
I'll let you go first. So you're going to be able to attack for the ones that are closest
to you.
Right. So they're naturally going to go to whichever is closest.
Well,
which is
this
one,
one,
right?
So he would move, and you say his move is
He wouldn't move.
He won't. He'll shoot
because he's got a blaster. So you're going to roll a D20 and a D6 for the blaster damage.
And he just rolls a 12 naturally. Like there's no modifier.
No mods. Unless the specific creature calls for it.
So he missed. A 3 and a 4.
Yep.
So he missed.
I'm just trying to see what the trying to see if
this is the one he can. This is closest.
Yep.
But. And this is less than 1 inch, so he would.
Yeah, from here, I think they're pretty good. I think they can see that.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Yeah, I mean, he can see, but he can see him. He can see him.
But that's the closest, and even I think you're closer than even this guy over here.
I think so. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. And anything that's not their type, so even though he can see them, he's not. He can see the other Grimm over.
And
there.
unfortunately, the way I did this, I don't think the viewer will be able to see. Maybe from the top, this guy is not far enough up.
Right.
So he's going to shoot at my leader.
Yeah.
All right. My specialist is what you call him?
Oh, yes. I rolled a 3, so he's not getting hit.
All right.
Okay. So that's the end of that round, right?
And now we'd roll for new enemies to come out.
Yes. So there's now, because the dome hasn't been built up, there's a chance that warhounds are going to come out. A
Okay.
warhound.
They
So in versus, roll a d6.
Sure. 6.
Okay. On a 3 or higher, whoever loses initiative this round places the model.
All right. So whoever loses it, so you could put it anywhere. Is there
So
a rule?
they're going to come in on one of the mountainous areas because they're coming in from outside. So if
Well,
I win, I'm going to put them here because they're going to be close to those.
Yeah.
You know.
Initiative.
Yep.
7.
Ooh, 7.
Tied. All right. So we roll again.
Yep.
18.
16.
All right.
Okay,
So you
pick
get to
one.
place it, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You get to place it.
All right. So, and so one of the things about warhounds is they can move and ignore
Vertical.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're going to be able to move and probably do a melee attack if you don't get out of the way.
What's their maximum move?
They are 2d6. Like, yeah.
Oh, there's okay.
Pretty much all threats are like.
And what's
that,
their damage?
They have a d6, but they also have a berserker madness.
Okay.
If they bite you and they succeed, you have to make a toughness test of DR 13, and if you don't succeed, you are going to attack for D4 rounds anything that you are close to.
So you
You did
You could hurt a friend.
first,
You could hurt
but
a
if
friend.
that goes down, then you're going to hurt a friend. Yeah,
Right.
and they also have 30 hit points. So that's
Oh, wow.
that's part
Okay.
of the, that's
Ooh.
part of the idea of like trying to
Brutal.
create the dome.
Okay. So
To
we
allow
so
you
we want to
time.
get over here. All right. Now cooperative, I could see that we
Right.
would both be like, let's
Right,
get
yeah.
to the dome. But
Right.
now it's like, well, shoot.
Do I or do I?
You may not want to help me
Right,
put the
exactly.
shit up.
Oh, and we also now put out in between each round we put out
Another zombie.
another zombie,
All right.
another Grimm.
And it's same within 2 inches.
Within one. It's supposed to be within 1 inch.
Within
Yeah.
one. Okay, I'm gonna put mine right here.
Okay. Of course you are. Still want it to be closest to you versus me. Well, there, put it over there.
Yeah. Now I can't. All
And
right.
especially if you want to come in and start looting,
Right. Yeah.
you got to be at least on this side.
Okay. All right. So I won initiative, so I get to go first. So, metagaming here is it better for me to address the most powerful, or is it better for me to deal with, because these guys have ranged attacks.
Right.
He has to be in contact.
Right.
So So the move is random. I would roll a d6 and a d6 to determine how far. So he might move 2 inches,
Right.
But he could move 12.
Right.
Okay.
So it's a little bit of luck there. And I played last night,
Okay.
and my opponent, they were just fighting the warhounds,
Just dealing with wolves.
and they were rolling so terrible that like over like multiple rounds, they maybe knocked down like 6 hit points.
Okay.
But only because they also have an armor value of 2.
Oh, of course. Yeah,
So because they've got a natural thick hide.
All right.
So just depends on how you like to play.
Well, part of my theory is that if I could move far away, he might become the closest enemy.
True, yep.
But for them to run, and you know what? As a matter of fact,
You have a better movement rate.
I do. I have an 8. You don't. So I'm gonna go. Go ahead.
You also, one of your tributes that you have is beamed up.
Right.
That you could teleport them off to a different scenario. Doesn't have to happen now.
Yeah, but we're not playing you and I aren't playing
Right,
a campaign, so I got it. So I could save one of my guys just by if they get too low, or I could beam him off.
Get them off. Yeah, off of there. Or you could wait because it could be D2, and if another warhound comes next round.
Now the beam up ability was with this character, I believe.
Okay, yeah.
So not
even close.
Not even close.
Yeah, they got to at least be within like the line of sight.
All right. Well, I tell you what. Let's. I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna. He is gonna take a shot at him.
Yep.
All right. So a D8 and D8 and a D, and his blue is 3 presents with no modifier.
So just got to get that 9.
Got it. And I rolled an 8.
Ooh.
For damage.
Hang on. Let's see. Which one was that? Okay. And they have, so you did, because I have 1 armor. So that did 7 damage, taking me down to 3.
Oh, nice.
That is brutal.
All right. Okay. And since his first action was to fire, he will not move.
Okay.
Is that right? I mean,
oh yeah, absolutely.
You have to move first. So he's done. And I learned this from a friend of mine, Rob. after a mini is gone, I turn them to face me.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I love that.
I can't take credit for it. My friend Rob is the one that showed it to me.
Okay, so that being said, let's see. They can move. They may end up dying now, but shoot. Okay.
Sorry, I was like, you know what? It's the deal. I could deal with the wolf, or I could try to deal with one of your guys.
Yep, if that's how we're going to play it, that's how we're going to play it. He's going to move here.
Yep.
And then he's going to use his mini boom box, which
is that a ranged weapon? Like you can throw it?
You throw it, and it's like it's supposed to be like an old school boom box, and then but it's a target.
It's an area attack,
which is a 3-inch radius.
So you want to throw it here and try to take out all three of them.
So I have to make a presence test because I'm throwing it.
Sure.
And then I'm sorry, it's an agility test.
So you're rolling 12 or higher plus your agility.
So I need to get a 13 or higher.
Okay.
You know what? I'm going to go ahead and use the automatically pass one test.
There you go. So the test would be to land it here, which you just did.
Right. So I just landed it here.
Now let me ask you this: if you had missed, where does the bomb go?
I don't know.
Because I have to mention a competitor. In Stargrave, if you fire a grenade, your first roll is to hit a target point.
Yep.
And if you miss it, you have to move it in a random direction 1 inch for every point you missed off of the target.
Oh, that's good.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if you needed a 12 and you rolled a 9, it's going to go 3 inches in a random direction, and it could go in like your own direction.
Yeah.
So just something to think about.
Sure. Yeah. Totally. I will definitely think about.
So you got lucky. You used that and the bomb.
I'm gonna roll the damage.
Okay.
It's a D12.
All right.
And I got 8. So the 3 that are in there. Subtract your armor.
Everybody has armor.
Yep.
Everybody has an armor of 1, so 7 damage.
Yep.
7 on blue. His health was 9. Oh. So what did he say? 7?
Yep.
So we got 2 health left. Green cloak has 2 health left, and gold helmet has 2 health.
Ooh, that's rough.
Oh, that did hurt. But it's my turn,
right?
And I didn't like that too much. So let's have Green Cloak is going to fire at him.
Yeah.
And again, pulse rifle with a D8 damage, and there is no modifier, so it's a +3, so I need to roll a 9 or higher. I rolled a 5, so I missed.
If you want to...
But you know what?
If you want to use the automatically succeed, you can do that. And if you want, you can also use the do maximum damage.
Right. So I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a reroll a die. Since I already rolled it, because I could. To be fair, what I should have said was automatically pass before I rolled it.
Sure.
So I didn't do that. So I'm going to use the reroll a die, and hopefully it's only going to do 1 damage.
Well, then don't use it yet, because I've got an armor of 1.
That's true. Automatic neutralize a crit. Or fumble, deal maximum damage for 1 attack.
I mean,
I could do that one,
and then if you succeed,
so I missed. So I'm just going to take that as a miss.
Okay.
Because I could change the damage, but I missed.
Right. Yeah.
And we're good. All right. So he is done.
Okay. All right. So he is going to go here, and I'm going to try and do a tech test to try and
shut this down.
It's difficulty of 13. They have a 3 in tech. So 10 or
higher.
Yep. Fumble.
So does a fumble do anything, or just a fumble?
Yeah.
All right.
But I will turn him this way so I remember.
Okay. So you went and did the tech test, so you failed, and that's it for you.
Yep.
All right. I got one more guy here. This guy will move 1.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to shoot at him.
Do you want to automatically pass the test?
I am going to choose that.
Yep.
I'm going to choose the automatically pass the test, so I just roll the damage.
Yep.
It's a D8. And I got 8. I think
they're dead. They're a downed model.
So he can be looted, right?
He can totally be looted.
And he's not infected. Or if he if he was infected, would I do the harvest on him as well?
You could.
Okay, but he's not.
As far as you know, he's not.
I don't know that. Yeah. All right, so that is done with him.
Nicely done.
It's your turn.
Okay, so shoot.
Sometimes skirmish games come down to a duke it out until somebody's that's how it is.
So I'm going to...
But by the way, this guy is up here going, ooh, food. So I may have taken you out, but I'm getting ready to deal.
Oh, yeah.
Deal with a guy.
This one's moving here. They're then going to try and loot.
All right, so the loot test. Explain how that works.
So normally with looting, you would just loot and you'd roll on the table to see if there's loot. But because this scenario has a specific mechanic for it...
One of them has a card that we're trying to find.
So I'm going to roll a D6. If I get a 1, they have that key card.
All right, so you got to roll a 1. Okay.
If by the 6th downed model doesn't have it, they automatically have it, just so it doesn't go on forever.
Sure. You did. So you found the card. So as long as you get off the thing, you win.
I've won, and I get 500 credits.
Wow. Okay. I tell you what, just for grins.
Yeah.
Let's pretend you didn't find it.
Sure, totally.
And we'll play another couple rounds and see how this goes. So you rolled on the loot and you didn't find it.
Let me roll real loot.
But you get to roll for real.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I will.
You just passed it.
I did.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right there.
So it's a D20 table for the loot, and I got a 4. So hey, for some reason this Grimm had 75 credits on him.
He doesn't spend it. He's a zombie. He doesn't need it. That was cool. So wow. So like there's a lot of times I play a game like this where a player can get lucky. Right. I mean, you get a 2 treasures and that's all you want. You get off the mat and I don't get it. So that is wild that you found the card.
Like
sure, and but the other thing is your guys are moving 3 and 4 inches.
Right.
So even though you got it, it's going to take 2 rounds for you to get off. There's a chance
I could use double. I could use move because I'm so close to it.
Absolutely. Wow. If you want to make that harder, you could make it where you have to get it off the other side. But
true.
That would be it. So so let's keep going. So you looted and you found a piece of loot. So now it's my turn.
Yep.
So
I'm going to turn her around this way.
So this time around, I want to move Han. He can move 8.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to move him up here to this side of the dead guy. Now the problem is I can loot, but then this guy's going to take a shot.
Yep.
And then this guy, do you do line of sight?
I do. Like if he's blocking, yeah, I do. So he would probably shoot this one.
Yeah. You know what? Han will shoot this zombie.
Han always shoots first.
Now he's the -3, so it's a 12 or higher, and it only does D6. It was a semi-pistol, so it's a D6. He has a healing kit, by the way.
Nice.
So I did hit, and I did 3 damage. Armor of 1, so he says he starts with 8. So I did 2, so he's got 6 health left.
Yep.
And that's all I got.
Awesome. Okay, I'm going to have my Soul Survivor that's right here. He's going to try and use his blaster, mark the ammo down, to try and shoot this Grimm that's right
now,
here.
The other thing I didn't think about is, even if you did, if we played normal, you have the card. But you've got two Grimm that can take a shot at you on the enemy turn.
Right.
So why don't we play it that way?
Are you sure?
Yeah, let's play it. Let's play it that way. Because I don't know that you got the card.
Sure.
We're just, I'm looking for the card. You were sneaky. You got it. You're not going to indicate with a grin that you got it. I don't know that.
Let's see. My presence. So
you hit.
But I did 1 damage. So, did nothing.
So it looks like the zombies could come into the zombies. The Grimm could end your card carrying days.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? Yeah.
All right. So
especially like she's closest to 2 of them. They would both attack her.
Yeah. So all I've got is her. I'm going to move her over here and shoot at this one with 6 health. It is she has a presence of 3, so 9 or higher, and it's a D8. 8 damage with a 2.
Oof.
But I'm going to reroll this.
Yeah.
Did I already do that?
No, I didn't. You decided
to reroll it. Yep. So let's hope for what did I say? 9 or higher. And I got it.
Boom, nicely.
So 8 damage. So that one is down. All right, and I'm not going to write on this, but I would check that off that it's been used. All right.
I'm going to flip this one face down since it's been looted.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll put these face up.
Yep.
That'll work. All right, and she is turned towards me because she is done, and I think it's your...
Okay, so that leaves my man-sheen. He's got a movement of 7. He's going to just move up just a little bit, and then he's going to try and shoot at this one.
Right.
And I'm going to drop that down to 2. And his presence is 0, so he did not succeed. He missed.
So here comes a game. This is where I love skirmish war games because we can manage the individual enemies rather than if it's one of those war games where you play in hundreds of battalions. Yeah. So being that she is so close to these 2, we know that she's the target.
Right.
So there's going to be 2 chances that are going to get it
right
off. So so we do the enemies.
Mhm.
Is there any priority? Do you do like the more powerful enemy first?
There's no however you want to do it because we can't really move. It's like usually since I usually let you do the attacks first because I've done it, so I might as well let you get those in.
All right. Well, let's have these two attack her and see how this this plays out.
So they're using a blaster. So roll the d20 as long as you get a 12 and a d6 for the damage.
All right. So we'll do the one here.
Okay.
That is a miss.
Okay.
And we'll do the one here. That's a hit. That's a hit with one, and you've got armor.
Armor one. So yep.
So neither one of them did.
Yep.
And so you've got one over here that I think would shoot at Han.
Yep, I think you're right.
Han was the closest.
So 12 hits for 3 damage.
And Han has 9 health, 1 armor, so 2 damage. So he's down to 7.
And for threats, you don't keep track of their batteries. They have batteries,
So now we get to the wolf.
Yep.
And I'll let you roll for the wolf.
Okay, so I'm going to roll
for the first move.
5.
So he would move down to here probably, right?
Yep.
All right. So if he gets a 2 or 3, he's going to engage, and he did. He would be attacking this one on the next turn.
No. So as soon as threats move into close combat,
they get an attack, even if they move twice. Oh wow. Okay, that is dangerous.
Yeah.
Now he's only got 1 health.
I rolled a 4, so
you missed.
Yep. But now, so like if you want to disengage from close combat because you're now in close combat, you have to. I roll the other player rolls a d20 to try and keep them engaged.
Okay, so whoever rolls highest.
No, it's a 15 for me to keep you there.
Okay. All right. So that is the end of the enemies. So now we would roll for initiative.
Yes, we would, and then we actually we'll roll initiative. Then we got to put out more bad guys.
Yep. Rolled a 12.
And I got a 20.
Okay, so you will go first. So what I would do if I were you, because we're playing this legit, you've got the card.
Yeah.
So you could double move and get off.
I could, but roll a d6 to see if we put out a new wolf. We do.
Okay.
And so because you lost initiative, you get to put out the wolf.
Well, I don't think the wolf's going to hurt you, because if I put him here, which is where you're supposed to, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think she can still get off before he gets to her.
But I also want to get more of my crew off of the board
to continue them.
I want to keep them going.
So it's sort of a flee moment now.
Right.
So can he flee off of this edge, or does it have to be the edge?
It can be any edge.
Any edge.
All right. Hang on. We have 2, 4, 6. We each also put out another rim. So,
all right. Well,
I mean, if you put it right there, they're within an inch. So I'm then engaged in close combat.
Well, let's do.
So I have to try and get away. So
not so much because I want to win the game. I just want to see all the mechanics in play. So we've got one that's engaged hand to hand with you. Why don't you put one engaged with Han, and then we can do 2 examples of that.
Yep.
That makes sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So you've got the initiative, so you will go first.
Yep. So I mean
and I assume you would want to deal with this one, right?
I do.
It's engaged with.
I do, but before I have her try and run away, I'm going to try and see if 2 of my other characters can down that one. So I don't even have to worry about trying to break free.
No special rules about firing into combat or anything like that. Okay, excellent. So I hate those rules, by the way. So that's good.
So I'm going to turn all my people around so I know what's what, except for the one that's down on the ground that's dying. Let's see. So I'm going to use the sole survivor that's got a blaster with a D6, and I'm going to knock that down to 3 charges. And I've already done the automatically pass a test, so I don't get to do that. I got an 8. My presence is 2, so I only got a 10, but I'm going to use my reroll a die. And I succeeded. Okay. So I did minus the armor. I ended up doing 2 damage on this, which leaves him with 6.
Yep.
So your turn.
All right. Han's engaged hand to hand with this guy, so I'm going to be using my strength modifier.
Most likely. Do you have any physical weapons?
I do not. I only have the pistol.
Okay, so you're just going to do fisticuffs.
But the problem is he's -3 on all ground, and his strength was 0.
Okay,
so he's -3 on this roll. So I got to roll a 15 or higher to hit him, and I'm only going to do 2 damage.
And if you do 2 damage, you only do 1 because they've got armor.
Correct. I did a nat 20.
Boom.
So that's double damage. So he would do, so I got to roll a D2.
Mm-hmm.
And that's 2 damage minus 1. So he's got 1 damage on it.
Yes. And because you are in...
I won, right?
What?
Oh, no, go ahead. I was listening to you.
Because you're in close combat with a Grimm. You have to do it. See if you got infected. So you have a rebreather. Do they have a rebreather?
No. He does. No, Han does not. Han does not.
So you're going to roll a d20.
Okay.
If you get less than a 17,
I'm infected.
You've been infected with a worm.
Okay. I think he's infected.
Roll a d6. I'm going to pull up the worm because I only did one worm in the playtest rules. Okay. I'm going to go to all the worms in the real rule book.
All right. Because I remember you said that each worm has like a different benefit or drawback. I rolled a 1.
Okay. So that is, come on, pull up the manuscript.
Now, can you have an advantage with the worm that you might not want to get rid of? Just keep them infected?
Okay. You could, but every scenario you read.
There's a chance that you roll and it might take you out of the game.
So you got the flesh worm, the carnivorous worm.
The flesh worm.
It's under your skin. A small but growing worm burrows its way across your body, ripping the flesh from your muscles. No matter how you try to squash the slippery snake, it evades you. It eats at your musculature. It continues to get larger. So now make a toughness test. And this will determine if you have a parasitic pleasure or parasitic pain for the rest of the scenario.
My toughness is 1, so I need an 11 or higher. I did not get it. I failed it.
So you now have a parasitic pain. So roll a d4, and we'll see what the pain is.
That is a 3.
Oh, no, that's parasitic pleasure. Oh, I'm sorry. That was a mistake. You should have rolled a d6.
Okay. 1.
Bulging boa. The worm has been feasting on your musculature like it was at an all-you-can-eat buffet. Your strength to go on is lost. The worm is now in control. This model has become the Grimm.
So he became a Grimm, just like that. So let me ask you, does he turn into one of these?
Yep.
So you would replace him with a Grimm, and now he would turn on his own friends.
He wouldn't turn on the Grimm. Because...
Right. His own. No, I'm saying his old friends.
Yep.
Han became a Grimm. Look at that. That's kind of cool. That was a cool. That was kind of a neat effect. All right, so that's it for Han.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, now if you would have had it where it wasn't that, like there's a 1 in 6 chance with each worm that's what you're going to happen if you get a parasitic pain.
Yeah.
So you could have lived with the worm for the scenario, then in between the scenario had it extracted and been back to like your normal self.
Do you always come to a game with 5 warband members?
So if you're playing scenario, you have to recruit. You have to spend money to recruit a new one.
Figured that one out. Okay. All right. Very cool.
So now I'm going to go ahead and because of this, I'm going to move him over here to line of sight.
Yep.
I'm going to have him try to use his pulse rifle, which will give him one more shot after this. And I missed because I've got him.
Yeah. Okay. I've got her. She's going to run. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. She's like, oh, look at this. She is done.
Okay.
Because listen, if we were playing a campaign,
right?
I know you've got the card. One of my guys just got turned into a Grimm. I'm out of here because if I want to play game number 2, I need to have some surviving members to actually survive.
Yeah,
so
100%. Yep.
So I'm going to beam on my next turn. If he's hopefully he's still alive, I'm going to beam that out like you said.
Awesome. Yeah.
And then in the next game, it would
be in the next scenario.
It'd just
be starting at the next scenario.
Wow. So you got to deal with him at some point.
Right.
What's the mechanic for where he's placed in the next game?
That would probably be like whatever the next scenario is, the initiative, and putting it where things spawn in that scenario.
Gotcha. All right.
So let's see.
That was funny.
Harvester, I'm going to have him, even though he can only move. Oh, he doesn't. No, he's not going to do that.
And you have to start thinking about the fact that now that you got the card, I assume that once you get the card, she's radioed to the others, got it, get out of here. Right. So you've got to determine whether or not it's worth getting. Yeah, exactly.
That one, they don't have a ranged weapon. They only have a blade.
Get off there.
Yeah, they're not going to be worthwhile to keep on board. So now it's back to you.
All right. 30 hell. Come on. I mean,
I know, right?
My guys are harvesters. They're like, listen, there's more where you came from, and this guy will leave.
Yeah. Okay. Now she is going to try and disengage. And let me just to make sure I'm getting it right.
Special rules for disengaging.
Leaving combat in versus mode, you're going to roll a DR12 test for the Grimm that's there to try and keep me from escaping.
All right. So it's just a 12 to keep you under? I did.
Natural 20. Okay, wait. On a crit, they get an attack on me.
Okay, so he'll make an attack.
Yep.
D6 was the damage, right?
No, because now that they're in close combat, they can't use their blaster.
Okay, so
it's
just
D2.
missed.
Their claws, their bony fingers, I think.
It's D2 though.
Yep.
Okay, so miss and miss.
Okay, but I'm also in close combat, so now I have to make that.
You get to do it too.
No.
Oh, that's right. You could get infected.
Yep. And so she has a rebreather, so that means I get to roll a D20. It's a level 1 rebreather, so I get to roll a D20 twice and take the higher.
Okay.
I got a 19, so I don't need to.
Yeah.
So she did not get infected that round, but she did not get away, so she doesn't actually get to do anything.
Right.
So,
this guy, he's out.
Yeah. All right. And
she's going to beam. If he survives, she'll beam him out and try to get. I'm going to try because I could totally see this. I know I've lost this game. I don't want to lose him.
Right.
But I don't want any of them to not get. I order them get off.
Right.
I'll deal with the wolf if you can hold him off.
Yep.
So all right, we're good.
Okay. Do you have another character left?
I do. This one.
Go for it.
Are you done?
Yeah, because I have the down model.
Got it.
So
he's physically engaged with the wolf. So he is a strength of.
Does he have any melee weapons? He didn't, right?
Scratched out the wrong one. Han was the one that died. Blue suit has a strength of 0, so no modifier. -1 tech, so that's not going to matter. And he's got a pistol, but that doesn't matter because he's doing a thing. So he will just attack. Now I'm going to try to disengage.
Okay.
Because I need to roll a.
I need to roll
just the monster.
A 12 or higher to keep you there.
Yep.
And I got an 8.
So what does that mean? I can shove you away, or I just turn away and run?
That means if you escape, and leave combat, you move at your normal movement and can take no. So you can be off the board.
He's out.
Yep.
But the bad news is this is going to get to activate on creature phase, and my leader is still in the game.
Yes.
So that's okay. The leader's on. The leader's got 7 health left. She's okay.
Okay.
No. Yeah, she was not part of that. She's got full health, so she's okay.
Here's the interesting thing. It's now the turn for the threats, right?
Right.
And you are going to be controlling all of these over here.
Right.
And there are a lot of them.
Yeah.
Okay. So, which one do you want to do first?
Well, let's do the engage.
Okay.
So he'll do a 12 or higher. 16 hits, and it was just a 2, so two points of damage.
So they take 1. So they're down 7.
And then the 2 nearest her will shoot.
Yeah.
12 with the blaster's a D6.
Yep.
That's a miss and a miss. And then hit and a 1 point, but your armor. So they both miss.
Yep. Okay. And so
then these over here,
they would probably move to get in range.
Yeah.
Like this one is actually in range of this.
So they would shoot at these two. So let's just go. This one would probably move. Well, this one would shift over.
Yep, sure.
And shoot at this one, and I'll have that one shoot at that one. So this one shoots, misses. This one shoots, hits for 2 damage.
Which one was that at?
That one.
That one? Okay. So 2 damage.
And then this one would just move. There's no line of sight, so he'll just move 2d6, right? Yeah, move 6.
Or now, he may move d6 and then attack.
So so not seeing you or me, he would go 1, 2, 3. He would come this way, and then, but that's line of sight blocked.
I mean, you're there.
I'm there. He would shoot at me.
No. I can see straight through.
Okay, if you want to say, okay. That's fine. Yeah, it is line of sight. But he also can see me, and I'm closer, I think.
Yep.
By the time
you are.
By the time, so he'll shoot at my leader.
Okay, so I'll roll that. That misses.
Yep. And then that's it.
Okay, so
the wolf would fully move here.
Well, they would move 4, and then they would be.
And then he's totally in there, and he gets his free attack.
And 19 for 1 damage.
And I've got armor of 1.
Okay.
So no damage.
No damage.
But I'm engaged, so I've got to try to. So on my turn, so let's just play it out.
Yep.
So initiative we would roll. If you win, is there another wolf?
Oh,
the wolf is.
So we roll a d6, and if it's 3 or higher, there's another wolf, and whoever loses initiative puts it out.
All right, so let's roll initiative.
I got a 12.
4. So you would get it. So I would put a wolf.
Oh, wait.
Oh, we forgot.
You forgot that one. You want to roll movement on that one?
Yeah. 3 and 5. So 8.
There, on that one, yeah.
All right.
Go ahead and roll to attack.
What was his damage?
It's a d6 for the bite.
He misses.
Okay.
All right.
But you want to roll a d6 to see if we put another wolf out?
Yeah. 4.
3 or higher, yep.
So
and you get to pick where
I rolled the initiative, so I could see that. So I would put him back up here again.
Right.
Just keep them flooding. There's a mama bear up here, and she's in. So, so on the next turn, you would. I'm just playing this out.
Sure.
I would need to make a 12 or higher to 15.
No, I would try.
You would do it. So try and see if he gets away. An 11.
No, so you get away.
I got away. So I would get and then once I'm off, do you still have to fight off the?
I mean, I still need to escape with it.
Right? All right.
You know,
I'm going to give it. I'm going to give it to you. I like this.
Awesome.
I like this. So here's some wrap up questions for you. You said there's 13 scenarios.
Yes.
Okay. This was scenario 1.
Mm-hmm.
If I had to guess, if you hadn't been explaining the rules to me and we had just played, I bet you we could have. Right now, this would have been at the 20-minute mark, probably.
Sure.
You know, I mean, I'm just getting, because it's fast.
I mean, especially getting the key card on the first
try.
I mean, that's, you know, if it goes all the way to the 6th one, it definitely.
We would have been dealing with.
And especially if the wolves keep coming in, if nobody's turned that on.
Right.
Like, that's a big one. Like, people that have played solo have gotten annihilated because they, like, roll terrible trying to activate that.
All right. So all 13 scenarios can be played solo, cooperative, or versus.
Yep.
And the 13th scenario is a finale, like a grand finale, right?
For this. But just like the RPG, just like the card game, I'm kind of building these 3 pillars.
Okay.
I want to keep releasing content for each one. So there will be other storylines and other scenarios. And I'm sure I'll probably expand and create new factions. So if you want to like be able to add variety to your games.
Okay.
And there will be a third-party license because I want people to be able to make whatever they want for this and make it their own.
Yeah, I will make some scenarios for this. What other bad guys can we expect to face in this game? We've got the Grimm, we've got the wolves. What else haven't we seen?
And
is that okay to ask?
Yeah, that's totally fine. I really wanted to show the Grimm right off.
Yeah.
Because I thought it's important because that's such a big element in the setting.
Yeah.
There's Salzrites, which are like. Being in Georgia, if you go crawl in any crawl spaces, there's these like jumping crickets.
Yes. Yeah,
they're creatures that I made years ago for my fantasy setting that I brought into this one. So there's one based off of that. There's astro zombies. There's void revenants. There are bigger worms, like human-sized worms, ones that have outgrown their human host and are larger. There's a wide array of things. There's certain scenarios where there's like a portal and you roll on the random monster table.
Okay.
And different ones are going to show up. So like there's I'm by the time the book currently has 14 in it.
Okay.
14 different monsters in the core book.
Okay.
But I'm looking at expanding that with 6 more only so that it can be a D20 table.
Sure. Okay. That makes sense. So I want to show the camera. You designed the terrain to match the scenario because I saw a picture.
Oh no!
You actually have the layout drawn like that.
No, so
that is awesome.
So I made the terrain and then I photographed it and then I redrew it in vector.
I just want you to see this. So there it is. The scenario we just played. There it is in visual. So that is really wild. And so this is sort of conducive. This is like you could substitute anything for these terrains.
Absolutely.
But if you enjoy making terrain, you've got a model right there to go after. That's cool. That is very cool.
Thank you.
2x2, 5 models each, plus enemies. Very fast paced. So I'm just going to tell you my thoughts on it.
Before you do that,
yeah.
If you liked watching us play this, the playtest version is completely free with this scenario in it.
Okay.
You can go to the Sqwurmish Kickstarter. There's a link to click it. It'll download a zip file with the PDFs, and you can have it and just play.
I'll try to remember to put a link in the video description. So my thoughts. Okay. Definitely my kind of game. Very fast paced. I love the 2x2. Love it. There are so few skirmish games that are designed 2x2. Like, for instance, Frostgrave is 3x3 standard. You can make it 2x2. And one of the reasons I like playing it 2x2 is immediately you're in the fight. Everybody's within range and stuff like, or, line of sight and things like that. So you got me on the 2x2. I also love the fact that the worm thing, you get infected, it can carry over in a campaign. You have the option to remove it. If you don't remove it, there's a chance it may remove you. If it doesn't remove you, then you've got to roll to see if there's a benefit versus a negative. That is one. I also I really do like the fact that I lost Han. Because that brought up a question that I gave you was, how do you keep your warband? So the fact that you have to recruit and pay money, that makes sense in a game. Some games it's just like, oh, you just get more crew, like everybody's just signing up to go die, right? No, that's part of the cost, right? You're paying somebody to take the danger. So I like that. I will say the 5 warband members is awesome because it makes the game go quick.
Yeah.
I played with 10 on a Frostgrave game.
Yeah, that's got to be a long round.
It could be a long round. Yeah. I mean, especially after many rounds and your whole team is still alive, it can take a long time. Now, I haven't played this solo, and people who know me, they know I'm totally into solo.
Yep.
So I will totally be playing this solo very soon.
Yeah.
And I'll give you my thoughts on the solo game. But, and of course I like sci-fi. Yeah. So that you had me at that. So this is great. And it's currently being funded.
Yep.
And through March 13th.
Yep.
And if you're interested in it, go out and check out the Kickstarter. I'll put a link to it in the video description. If you have any questions for Brian about the game, rules, anything about how he's designed this, post them in the comments. I'll ask you to check them and see. One thing I gotta say as someone who creates content is I like seeing that the game isn't 100% there, right? You're funding it and you're creating the game, but there are holes in it. Like you didn't know, like the grenade, like the bomb,
right?
We played it. Now you're aware
that
now you'll have to go and say, okay, well, how do I do that?
Right.
So seeing your notes and stuff, it's cool to me because I don't normally see this when we
behind the scenes.
Yeah, when we back a game, we get the game, we play it, and we don't think about all this stuff. So this is very, very cool, and I appreciate you coming over and bringing it and demoing it.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Happy to do it, and I tell you what we'll do. We got to do it again. Got to do it again.
Absolutely.
And maybe I can convince Brian to do a cooperative campaign down the line. I can come your way. You can come up. We can take turns or whatever. But definitely, I would like to play this again.
Awesome.
And I definitely want to play the campaign.
Cool.
Now, when the campaign ends, March 13th.
Yep.
About how long? What's your estimated fulfillment date for it?
So I'm looking at hopefully having fulfillment in July.
In July,
like the Kickstarter says September.
Okay.
I like to speed things up.
Okay.
And here's my last Kickstarter, I did from Kickstarter to fulfillment in 6 months.
That's not bad.
And that's hardcover books printed overseas.
Okay.
I wanted to have it far enough along that by the time the campaign's over, I'm hoping to have the core rules over to Walt for editing.
Okay.
And I write and design at the same time, so it'll be kind of ebb and flow where he'll send me all the revisions back. I'll go and revise them in my Affinity publisher program and revamp them and then send that over. So.
All right. Well, listen, everybody. This is Jim, the Tabletop Engineer. Thanks for joining me on this game of Sqwurmish. Brian, thank you
so much.
Enjoyed it.
Yeah.
We'll be back again soon with another video. Until then, everybody, take care.
Check out the new RPG and Wargame newsletter. Each week, the Tabletop Engineer shares news, products, Kickstarters, and much more related to the gaming hobby. It's free to subscribe, so check out the link in the video description below to sign up.